Hey, we're here with Ginger in the Desert Creations. I'm not even gonna start to pretend that I don't know that I filmed this one in the middle of November and that it's quite possibly the bestest thing I have ever made yet. So, what are we waiting for? Let's go paint!
It's been about a month since I have painted because moods are fun. But I've hauled myself down here and we are going to actually do some painting. So, I have an idea in my head and I do not know if it's going to work. It was inspired by abalone, the color scheme. I did decide to ditch the purple in it or the amethyst or whatever it is, probably this amethyst, sitting right here. But yeah, I'm using that color scheme and I'm hopefully gonna see if I end up with something that I feel like is kind of springy and maybe reminiscent of butterflies. I don't know. But what I'm gonna try to do, I'm gonna try to do a grassy part, which I'm gonna use the blues of the sky, and I'm gonna use these as greens down here, and I'm gonna kind of ribbon pour, try to get a directionality on the bottom of my landscape. And then I'm going to put together the top with the Chartreuse and the copper canary. I call it copper canary. I mixed it myself. It is copper and pearl canary. And then I got the white and black. And so it's going to be sky, flyy bugs, grass with sky in between, hopefully. But I am going to do the ribbon pour. I am going to try to tilt it off, see if I get something that I'm happy with, try to thin out enough of that paint that it won't move too much and shift too much while I'm pouring the top. And then I'll pour the top over, probably nice little wandering straight pour across the top, and see if I can spread it through and make it look like something that resembles a nifty little landscape. We will see. So I have gotten two clean, and yes, they are sort of clean. Clean is a relative term. I've gotten two containers that I'm going to do the two separates in because I don't want a lot of green coming up in my sky, because that would be a problem. This may be, if it works out, this may be a strategy that I'm going to use in a much bigger project. But if it doesn't, you'll probably never see it again. Just to be fair, what should I start with? I'm going to, okay, well, I haven't introduced you to the colors now, have I? Regale Blue. Would we be surprised if I made something without Regale Blue? Yes, we would. This is Deco Art Peacock Pearl, one of my favorites. This is Mont Marte Medium Green. Chroma Moten Metals Emerald Green. The last of my Mont Marte Monastral Green. It is going, and hopefully it is going in a good project. Mont Marte Black. Mont Marte Titanium White. Arteza Pearl Chartreuse. And what I call the Copper Canary. Relatively equal parts of Chroma Moten Metals Copper and Arteza Pearl Canary Yellow. And I have just given the edges of this canvas a nice little rub down with Mont Marte's Ultramarine Blue. Not particularly significant other than to try to make sure that the edges of the canvas are finished and look okay, but maybe giving the canvas a massage before you make it do something may make a happier picture. Who knows? So, starting. I'm going to start with deciding where to start. That's where we'll start. Okay, medium green. Down here. Emerald. The Monastral. Little hints of sky with the Peacock Pearl and the Regale Blue. I am a little bit playing with fire with all of the metallic and pearl colors in here because I know they can overwhelm each other, but there are a couple of nice solid regular colors in here too that they can play off of, and I hope that will end up being something that looks okay because the piece that kind of convinced me to try this worked out, even though the only solid color, the only not pearl, not metallic color that was in it was black. And I think it still came together quite well, if I do say so myself. I am actually going to dirty pour this a little bit because I don't mind the sky bleeding in to other things here. And I think I'm kind of going to pour it just based on this much paint. There's about 4 ounces of paint there. I think that should be enough to kind of do this if I do it well or something. Alright, so ribbony pouring in a directional sort of way. It is very clear that I am an uneven pourer because there's a ton up here and very little right there, but we will live with that. Yes, we will. So far this is having kind of a nice grassy effect. Green, stripy. I like. Encouraging. It is encouraging. I'm gonna drag this a little this way. See if I can get that join the party a little better there. I don't want to lose the lininess too much. And I'm pretty much just going to let it drip off of here until it stops. I think I'm actually going to I'm going to take a little bit of the stuff that's in the bottom of this cup. I'll do hardly anything at all because there's nothing there. Now I've got to be very careful with the rest of it. I probably won't mind if I cut out some of that, but I largely don't want to lose the lininess, and I largely don't want to lose a lot of this portion because I like the hint of grass. It's good. It's good. So I'm going to have to very carefully. What I think I'm going to start with doing is while I'm pouring it, I am going to flip it so that if I drip, I will drip on something I don't care about currently. How do I do this? I'm going to start with our sky colors. I think I probably should have mixed up more of these colors to start with. I probably should have done a 5-ounce cup instead of a 2-ounce cup. hint of black, because it takes over. Copper. I feel motivated to put white in between them. I don't know why, but I'm gonna follow my instinct. See what happens. Chartreuse. Let's drizzle of black. Back to the sky colors. Drizzle of black. Copper, copper, copper. Small portion of white. Chartreuse again. Drizzle of black. Sky type colors. I do need to decide if I'm going to stop here and throw together some more of that Regale Blue, or if I can do what I want with what I got. I do not know. Gonna have to have a think. I'm gonna actually pop a little bit of white, because I wouldn't mind some white being in the skyish colors. Although I am gonna get gray, because here comes the black. Copper. Lay that on there all nice. White. Chartreuse. Drizzle of black. Okay, well, let's give it a shot, shall we? Okay, I am going to pour it fairly close to the canvas because I don't want to encourage too much color mixing. I'm just gonna pour it, pour it, pour it. Got a ton of black. See, I feel like I hardly use the black, and there it is all through it. Don't ask me why I lift the whole thing when it has structure and I could just lift the canvas itself. This has a crazy nightscape that I kind of love about it. I think I'm actually just going to force off what I can of what's on the bottom there and see what comes of just stretching this dark part out, because I'm liking this dark part. edge just really fantastic. Wow. All the lacing on it, just the colors and whoa. Not sure what to do about these corners, because they are stubbornly stuck in the old idea. Maybe I can still encourage it if I exercise some patience. There's a little edge of the paint that's just kind of setting there and being stubborn. Doesn't look like it wants to get with the program. I can probably cup bottoms can be an interesting help to solve small problems. Because if nothing else, it gives you a little bit of paint to tip off, make a little bit of an organic looking change. I think I over wiggled. I went all wiggly down there and it's got loops in it, and about those loops. Just sticking my finger in it. Unfortunately, dripped some of that black into where I didn't want it to go. The variation in color through here is just awesome. I'm not crazy about what is going on there. I don't know if I can encourage it to take some of that green off of here. Try to use it as an opportunity to blend a little more of that I just did over there into the background of it. I don't know that it drags your eye too badly towards that green. That might be okay. It's distracting that there's this line of green below the painting. It's like, what is that green still doing there? My brain wants to know. A little bit disappointed that I was working with the last of my Monastral Green. I do still have some of it, so I can make something else with it, but I'm working with the last of that color, and I tipped it all off and left it on the table. But I cannot be mad with what I've got going on in here, because there's stripes of everything, and there's different tones, and just craziness going on in here. I don't even think it's particularly distracting what I did in there. I kind of probably wish I didn't fix it the way I did, but couldn't just leave it be a blob of black just sitting there, because I was dumb enough to plop it right in the middle of everything and disrupt this show. Kind of wish I had picked up a little bit more of the copper in there. Let's see how far I can pull it this way, because this is all stretched, but there's a lot of layers in here. It might just open a little bit more if I sit here and let it run down. Can you tell me why everything I do turns out space and portrait instead of landscape and not space? I don't know, but let's take a look. 'Cause sometimes you just gotta embrace what happens, 'cause look what happened. I like what this blue is doing. It's got this just bit of white going through it, like this big old thunderbolt crack thing. It's very cool. Kind of don't know what's going on in the middle here. Just lots of color blending going on and lots of movement. I don't know what I think about that part. I'm actually gonna give you a bit of a tilt. Hold on to your seats. And look at here. Those stripes of copper going up into the blue. And everything up here is just awesome. Still got that tiniest little bit of green, and you know what? It's gonna stay, because I would screw things up getting rid of it. I'm gonna let it mellow and do all the wonderful things it wants to do, because it decided it wanted to look like this in the first place. I like the lacing that's going on right in this area. Sort of looks like there's a little gassy planet in there. The blue and the copper. I have got to play with blue and copper. I think I might ditch that pearl chartreuse. I'm actually probably going to use it for the little project I was looking into, but I don't think it did this piece any favors, and I don't know that it really impressed me in abalone either. So there it is. I think this one is going to have embrace of something in the title, because I just had to embrace where it wanted to go. Just hold on and let it do the driving. Anyway, stick around for a dried result and hopefully a name. Okay, can we talk about this thing for a minute, please? This is called Desert Dusk, and it turned out insanely good. Coming in closer. Kind of looks like mountainy scape Maybe a little bit of water in there. More mountainscape. And up into the sky. It just went crazy. It still does have a little bit of that green up in here, which I mostly pushed off, but did not succeed completely. But I think I like it as just a reminder of what happened underneath and what happened when you just go with the flow. This is crazy good. And I'm going to trip over something. Woo! Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.